Hi, it's Ronnie, and welcome to my channel and to Scrap 5 Challenge. That's where we all take the same list of 5 things. In June, it is colorful rainbow colors, bling, flowers, at least one circle element, and 3 photos. These are the 3 photos that I'm going to use. They're all of my granddaughter, Charlie. And my circle element is those buttons right there. The rainbow is that rainbow sheet of paper. Of course, I thought about the buttons first as being rainbow. But then I thought, well, I want to make sure I have rainbow here. So I decided to go ahead and use that paper. And this paper here is kind of like an ombre paper. It does have a design on it, but it's like tone on tone, so it's not very noticeable. But I wanted to use it for my scallops to have a darker color there. I'm adding my rainbow now. And I'm going to add the scallop and tuck it along the edge of that. And I'm going to stitch on it. I'm using my We Are Memory Keepers pad and my Tim Holtz piercer and piercing my holes for my stitches. And I'm going to use the color that's the same color as her shirt. There is a little of it in the papers, but not a whole lot. So I decided I would pull out a little bit more by using the thread as that color. And I'm using a back stitch. And I am going to stitch all the way up this. And then I actually am going to do a little more stitching. So I am doing quite a bit of stitching on this page. I'm going to tie it off in the back and glue it down and put washi tape on there because I don't want it to come undone at any time after I get done with my layout. The pictures, I'm going to double mat them, first in white and then in pink. And then they are just pictures of my granddaughter at the park. And I had both those girls and then my niece and nephew at the park that day. So there was quite a few kids. Well, my niece wasn't a problem to watch. She had her headphones on listening to music and was reading a book. And the only picture I got of her that day was where she turned her face or else put her hand in front of her face. I can't remember which one. It wasn't a good picture, but I am going to scrap it at some time or another. I took all the foam dots off the back of my buttons because I didn't want them raised up and it would be easier to stitch through them. But I put a little dot on them. I didn't put, it's a Zot, I think. I didn't put it right in the middle where I would be stitching. I put it a little off center so that it would still stick to the page, but I wouldn't have to stitch through it. I am going to take, I'm thinking 1, 2, at least 3 of these buttons, and I'm adding extra string to them. This one I'm actually tying a bow on. And the other 2, I'm going to have strings hanging. One I'm going to just tie a knot, and the other one I'm going to have hanging actually behind the button. But I wanted to add a little bit of difference with a few of them rather than just have the plain stitches going through them. And yeah, it's just a little something to add just a little more character to the buttons so they're not just plain buttons. And these buttons are Paige Evans buttons. I've used them before. I think they come in a set of 12 and I used 3 of them already, so that left 9, which I have had for a very long time and hadn't used. So my goal in the How to Kill a Kit with Style for the month of May was to use these buttons. So this layout was done in May. And I'm doing the voiceover now. Now it is June. But I wanted to make sure that I used them on something. And I didn't happen to think of anything with my How to Kill a Kit with Style. So this is partly How to Kill a Kit with Style because the buttons are from it. I am going to use a back stitch on these too. And I'm going to go through each button. I don't want them not to be stuck on there really good, so I am actually going to do my stitching on each button. I like stitches on buttons. I like to have the thread in the buttons. I don't like to put just the buttons on the layout anyway. So, I was going to stitch in them anyhow, and then I thought, well, I could do it kind of like a banner instead of just putting the buttons on the page. My first thought was to put them down the right-hand side of the page and maybe put one in each one of those little squares of color. But then I thought, maybe I'll just do a banner instead. Bunting, maybe it's called a bunting. But yeah, I'm going across up there. And I, where I put my pictures, I wish after I get done that maybe I hadn't have done the uptake on my buttons on well band or whatever that I didn't go up and then back down, that maybe I should have started at the top and just swooped down and went back to the top. But by the time I get the flowers on there, I decide it's okay after all. Those yellow, um, well, they're not thickers, they're Paper Studio from Hobby Lobby, but I still like them a lot. But when I went to put them on the page, I'm putting them on the white, they just look so bright. But laying in the stack of everything and laying next to the yellow that's on the page, they looked fine before then. But once I put them on the white, they really look bright. So I decided to go with a different color, and I picked this color because of that one button up there that on the left, it matches them really good. And I used my ombre ones, and then also these they're Amy Tan. I can't remember what the name they are. But I noticed I did get them a little bit crooked. That seems to be the norm though. Um, these flowers, I'd already had them fussy cut out. That whole page has been fussy cut out. I didn't use it for anything else. And I am going to end up cutting one more off that paper because I believe that's a Dear Lizzie paper. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe it is. And all I did was use it for fussy cutting. And like I said, I already had these cut out, but then I'm going to need one more, and I'm going to pull it out, pull it over there and fussy cut it out before I'm done. I decided to make a cluster up there around the pink button just because it looked like it was hanging in space all by itself. I wasn't thinking of that when I did the stitching, but after I got done, I thought, oh, it looks like it's just hanging there. I need something else there, so I'm putting the flowers there. I am putting some of them up on foam tape, and some of them I'm just going to adhere straight to the page. But yeah, flowers was another thing that was on the list. And then the last thing is bling. So I've got my 3 pictures, my rainbow, my circular item, which is the buttons. Um, I'm going to have my bling. And of course, I've got the flowers. So I do have everything that's on the list. I was able to check it all off. And this is the one I had to go ahead and fussy cut out. And see the yellow up there on the what do you call it, the rainbow thing on the right? Well, then there's yellow up there in the banner, and then I thought I gotta have some yellow down here, so I'll have my triangle of the yellow. So yeah, that's why I had to cut a yellow one out. I thought about putting it in the center, and then I thought, no, I think I'm going to put it on the left. The whole thing's asymmetrical, and so I didn't want to make it look more symmetrical by putting the yellow in the middle. And here I'm just doing some doodling on each one of the flowers that looked like a bell on that paper. It had 3 dots, but they were black. And I thought, well, I really don't want black. So I decided to use it's kind of like a yellowish orange. And I just put 3 dots on each one of them. And this is my bling, and I'm using pink for it. And I'm putting the bigger one in each one of the flowers. And then I'm just kind of randomly putting the smaller ones here and there. And I think that's it. I think that's the last thing I do with my layout. It's been, a week or more since I did the layout. So I can't remember anything else offhand. So yeah, I think the bling is the last thing that I do. I might do one more thing, but I'm thinking that's the last thing I do. I don't think I put any splatters on here. Well, I can see the layout from here, and I don't see any splatters. So yeah, I think that's it. That's the end of my layout. But be sure to check out all the other gals and see what they did with their list of 5. Oh, I did put something else. I decided to add the yellow hearts on here. And there is 4 on there, so it is an even number instead of an odd number. But I found 4 places I wanted them in anyway. So I put them on, and I've got 4 on there. But yeah, that's it. That's my layout. Be sure to check the other gals out and see what they did. And if you leave a comment below, I will get back with you. And if you like the video and hit a thumbs up, I'd appreciate it. And if you are not subscribed to my channel, I'd love to have you subscribe. And those of you who already are, thank you so much. But yeah, there's my layout and my fussy cut flowers. And there's my little cluster down to the bottom right. And that's the cost. See, it don't look that crooked there. But in the overall scheme of things, it looks crooked. And aren't those puffy hearts cute? I think they are just adorable. And they feel so squishy. But thank y'all so much for watching. I hope you have a happy, scrappy week. Take care and stay safe. Bye.